The billionaire's laugh echoed through the marble halls as he mocked the housekeeper's son in a language he thought she couldn't understand. But when she answered him back in flawless Arabic, the room froze. 5 minutes later, his empire began to crumble. He laughed too loud for a man with so much to hide. The billionaire, Jamal Rahim, leaned against his glass desk, surrounded by screens flashing numbers that meant power. Before him stood his housekeeper, Althea, her little boy clutching her hand, his backpack dangling from one torn strap. Jamal glanced at the boy, smirked, and switched to Arabic, his private language of mockery. "Poor child," he sneered to his assistant. "He probably thinks this building is heaven." Althea's knuckles tightened around her son's hand. Her eyes, warm, deep, and weary, did not flinch. She simply whispered, "Let's go, baby." But when she turned, the boy's backpack brushed against a corner of Jamal's desk, and a hidden flash drive clattered to the floor. In that single moment, fate shifted. The woman. No one saw Althea was invisible to them, another quiet figure who cleaned up after the powerful. But once, long ago, she was not a housekeeper. She had been a linguist in the United Nations, fluent in 5 languages, including Arabic. Her career ended when a car accident took her husband and left her with her son, Malik, barely 2 years old. With grief came silence. She traded conferences for cleaning supplies, embassies for marble floors. Still, she carried herself with quiet grace, like someone who remembered who she once was, but didn't need to prove it anymore. Every morning, she passed the same portraits of men who thought wealth made them untouchable. Every night, she prayed her son would grow up kinder than the world that judged them. The moment that broke the silence, when Jamal mocked her boy, something cracked, not in anger, but in clarity. Althea's mind, trained to listen to tones, had caught something strange in his words. His Arabic wasn't casual, it was coded. He wasn't just being cruel, he was confirming details of a secret transaction. Her instincts stirred. As Malik and she left, Jamal's phone buzzed with encrypted updates about a $250 million offshore deal. He thought no one in the room could understand. But Althea had heard every word. The calm before the storm that night, while her son slept, Althea opened an old laptop, the same one she once used at the UN. The memory of translation work returned like muscle memory. She decoded fragments of what she'd overheard and recognized terms used in financial fraud, money shifting between shell companies under Jamal's control. For hours, she hesitated. It wasn't her world anymore. People like him had power. People like her cleaned up the dust they left behind. But then she looked at Malik's face in the dim light. Peaceful, dreaming, and she whispered, "Silent doesn't mean powerless." The next morning, Jamal's office was alive with reporters and investors. The deal, a massive partnership signing, was moments away from sealing. Cameras captured his charm, his confidence. And then Althea walked in, not in her uniform, but in a crisp white blouse and dark slacks, borrowed clothes from a friend. She held the flash drive. Jamal's smirk faltered. "What are you doing here?" She met his eyes calmly and, in perfect Arabic, said, "You shouldn't speak what you don't understand yourself." The room went still. For the first time, he didn't have control of the words. The unraveling security stepped forward, but a hand from the corner stopped them. It was a government official. Althea had already shared the evidence with authorities that morning, along with full translations. The $250 million deal was a front for laundering public funds. Her translation had exposed every detail. Within minutes, Jamal's empire collapsed in real time. Accounts were frozen. Screens went black. Reporters turned their cameras toward her, the woman no one had noticed until that moment. The power shift, Jamal stammered, switching languages, trying to defend himself. But Althea's quiet strength cut deeper than any accusation. She simply said, "Respect isn't about wealth. It's about how you treat those who serve when no one is watching." It became the quote that spread everywhere. The next day, the billionaire's mocking words were replayed beside hers, and the world saw the contrast between arrogance and dignity. The aftermath: Althea refused interviews. She went back to work at the community center, teaching immigrant children languages for free. When asked why she didn't cash in her fame, she smiled softly. "Some victories aren't meant to make you rich," she said. "They're meant to make you whole." Jamal was later charged with fraud. In the footage from that day, you can see him watching her as she walks away. His face not of anger, but disbelief. The woman he mocked had undone him not with power, not with revenge, but with truth. Respect costs nothing, but it reveals everything. Every word we speak, especially when we think no one understands, defines who we are. Some heroes don't wear uniforms or stand on battlefields. They stand in silence, armed only with dignity, until the world finally listens. If this story moved you, tell us where you're watching from, and share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, true strength doesn't shout, it stands still. Subscribe for more stories that honor the quiet heroes who change the world in silence.